All of us reach a point in time where we are depleted and need to somehow find a way to reignite the fire within. But how do we spark that flame? Welcome to Reignite Resilience, where we will venture into the heart of the human spirit. We'll discuss the art of reigniting our passion and strategies to stoke our enthusiasm. And now, here are your hosts, Natalie Davis and Pamela Cass.
Right.
Tell us a little bit more about Step Into Your Voice. I love the title of that.
Yep.
Hear more.
Yeah, I think the number one problem really is confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm referencing the voice, it has like two meanings to it, right? One is like you could say, all right, so it's like how I speak. What about how you read? And then, of course, you could even think, well, voice, that's also vocation, like my calling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just how I speak and write, it's also what I do. There's so many things that tie in with your voice that in a certain way, like once you really step into it, you're learning how to speak up more, how to actually express what you really want, which a lot of people don't do enough of.
Yeah.
And once you do that, magic will happen. Yeah.
I love that. You've referenced magic a couple of times.
Yes.
Is that come into your body of work?
Yeah. So I do a lot of research about the, like manifesting and really speaking things out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And in my TED talk, actually, if you watch the talk, I talk about that the German or European efficiency really comes in with my STEP system, which is the S for simplifying things. Frequently, we overcomplicate problems, so start with simplifying. The T for telling somebody, and that's what I just mentioned. The magic happens when you express what you really want, even like saying it to yourself out loud. It really brings your goal into your conscious. It's not just something that lives in your brain and nobody knows it, but it's actually becoming reality and it's bringing it into the present moment. Like sometimes my husband says, well, I can't read your mind. And I'm like, you can't? You didn't know what I want for our wedding anniversary?
Yes.
I have to actually tell you, right?
Yes.
So first to simplify, then to tell, and then thirdly, you have to examine it and think a little bit what worked, what felt good, what you will do then in the future. And then thirdly, the P stands for praising progress. So what is it that you really want to celebrate, all these small moments, and what you want to acknowledge in terms of the high five, the wins that you've got?
Yeah.
So simplify, tell, examine, and praise progress. That's where I feel the magic's going to happen in that system that is over and over repeatable, but at the same time, where you're really feeling it's a flywheel and creates momentum in your life.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yes.
And that's also the system I'm using in the Step Into Your Voice. It's the STEP.
okay.
Now you got it. You're like, oh,
Nice.
yeah, there's a whole system behind all this.
Exactly.
Yes.
The whole model is going to make its way over into the new book as well. Stepping Into Your Voice. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the beautiful expansion of my TEDx talk. Yes.
Okay. Love it.
That. Love that. And you also do research in the space of resiliency and hence this podcast and what attracted you to us in this podcast. And we know that adversities can come in many shapes and forms. Do you focus on resiliency in profession, personal lives, business, or where has your research really concentrated in the past?
Beautiful. So I actually was very intrigued about the concept for a long time until I finally ended up giving it a name. Okay. And part of it was really that I teach innovation entrepreneurship. And I think to become a really good entrepreneur, that you need to understand that the on days are just about the same as like the off days. Where you're feeling business is not working and everybody's doing what I do. What's the point, right? Then you really need that resilience, that grit to keep going. to
Yeah.
get past the off days and get back onto the on days, because guess what? They're going to come back, but you just need to think about the fact that it's like a pendulum, right? And you just need to push through it. So even before I gave that like an official name, I observed that tendency that some people give up quicker than others push through. What really makes them push through? And that's also how I stepped into that superpower research that I then used in my superpower book,
Mm.
because I would like that you find that passion to push through the off days to get back into the on days, and you find the passion to really get your business off the ground, even though sometimes you feel, I have no idea where this is going. But, that is really how I got into this, because I'm so firm of a believer that resilience is really, at the end of the day, what is the difference between a great entrepreneur, an amazing entrepreneur, right? If you look at those people, they struggle just as much as you do, but they just kept going.
Yeah. They didn't let it stop them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, in the space of innovative entrepreneurship as well, I mean, kudos to your students in working in the space, because you're not just simply building on something or creating something that already exists. I imagine that you're pressing them to expand and, like you said, answer that call, answer that need that we don't have the product or service that satisfies it yet. Where do you see that resiliency coming in with these? Are they artificial companies, or do the students actually launch the companies?
They launch companies. Yeah, they launch companies. And then when they graduate, I sometimes keep working with them, or I have other clients that come in and they reach out to me. They didn't even like go to my college classes. They just reach out to me and they need business consulting.
Yes.
I think that sometimes what happens is, and it goes back to that simplify, tell, examine, and praise progress, that we have a little bit of a fear in sharing what we do, because we feel that either way other people are going to laugh about us, or maybe it makes us look inferior, or it makes us look vulnerable, and we don't want to show up like looking somebody that doesn't really know. But I always appreciate a good entrepreneur that just says, all right, actually, I don't really know this. Can you explain this to me? It's awesome. Just say, show me, how does this really work? I don't really know this very much, because that is just so much better than just like pretending and showing up as somebody that really actually doesn't know, because we are all learners deep down, but just asking the right question and showing when there is an area where you might not have the expertise, that's amazing, right? Yes.
Absolutely. Like the level of vulnerability that comes with that as well, right? I want to do this. I'm raising my hand. I am committed to doing this, but I also have no idea what the heck is going on.
Please
Completely.
That's a big
Completely.
piece. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. So you're wearing many hats. I want to know, for you personally, what is the thing that excites you the most? Is it being an author, being a professor, being a mom, being a wife? What is the thing that really gets you going? What is your superpower?
I feel when I stepped on the TEDx stage, and my daughters were in the audience, my husband was there, one of my best friends sat there, and all the preparation that went into that moment and the message I was sharing, I felt it was all aligned. The message, the people, the meaning behind all that, I just felt it was like home. Yeah. It was like, yeah, this is what I love doing. Yeah. So I felt it was a really good moment. And when you watch the video, you can see that I'm like super happy when I'm talking, and the way that I'm presenting it. I show that that confidence, that I aligned my superpower with myself. So I really like that a lot. I really do believe that the message of the TEDx talk moved people's lives. And to honestly tell you, Natalie, I presented it at home, and sometimes people started crying, right? And I mean, I'm getting all emotional when I talk about this, because the message resonated with their own superpower that they didn't even know they had, right? So this is really cool. Like I sometimes shared the message, and then people are like, "Oh my gosh, totally reminds me of that moment. And then they shared that with me. And that was really cool. And I think that's really why you give a TEDx talk, is to share something with the world that will make your corner of the world just a little bit of a better place, as I mentioned it earlier. And I have a cool acronym. Yeah. It's your first attempt in learning.
Love
Yes.
it. Love
Your
it.
It's not
resilience, right?
failing. You're
Yes.
not failing. It's the first
No.
attempt in
Your
learning.
first,
First
yes.
attempt
Like
at learning.
sometimes think about when you're sharing something with others, in how it makes them feel, and that's just also important. And just by sharing it, you're already opening up your heart a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping the conversation flowing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it.
I love that.
I loved watching your video when you found out that you got selected to do the TEDx.
TEDx.
You were
Yes.
crying. She goes, I'm crying. It was just, you could tell how passionate
Yeah.
you were about that happening.
Well, and this is also a good follow-up to this. And then when you have the TEDx recording,
Mhm.
you don't actually, nobody in the audience can take pictures, of course, or can record this. So you walk up the stage, Pamela, and at first you don't actually even know how this all looked like, right? You just kind of show up and you're like, I think I was good, right? I mean, you kind of like, yeah, you're just like, yeah. But in the age of using cell phones for everything and at all times, it's a
Mhm.
little bit like odd. And so I walked up the stage and I was like, it was good. Yeah, it was good. And people were
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was really amazing. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the TEDx talk came out on YouTube.
Mhm.
And my friend that was also in the audience on that day, she actually lives in Alaska. She came just for that talk. And she said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to both watch it on YouTube now, but our phones, we're going to listen to each other on the phone.
Oh, I love
Honestly, I started crying again. And so I recorded a second video when I'm like watching myself and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like watching it. And she said, yeah, no, you were so good. And I was like, I didn't even know. My gosh, this was actually like really how other people saw me on stage. I didn't even think about that. So that
yeah.
was the second moment of crying. When it was like the joys of, the joy of yeah, that was actually really my dream. It was
Yeah.
always my dream to give a TEDx talk. And then I was like, oh yeah, this actually worked out really good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was cool how we both watched it, listening to each other on the phone. And you could think of like how did she celebrate? Those were like the moments how I celebrated,
Yeah.
watching it with friends together at the same time.
Yeah. Hearing your
Exactly.
reaction, hearing her reaction. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yep.
the
And
response
now
was
like I say, the some of my students in the class even ask me, so how do you do that? How do you give a talk? And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to write a book about it. Yeah, I'm going to write a book about it."
I love that.
And you can do it.
Exactly. Well, and I don't want to hear about how you give a talk, but I am curious as to
Mhm.
your process, like that the in
Yep.
between, right? We have the video that
Mhm.
captures
Yep.
you finding out, we have
Mhm.
the talk itself and your reaction after watching it, but we know in between, like the preparation that
Yep.
goes into that, or procrastination, or not. Maybe there was just a ton of grit and no
Beautiful.
procrastination. What did that look like for you?
Beautiful, Natalie. There's another book that I'm writing that's called The Runway to the Red Dot,
Okay.
because I feel the TEDx talk is kind of like, I don't want to say like, I mean, I used the word magic before. It's definitely magic and life transforming, but at the same time, it's also a little bit mysterious. Maybe magic is mysterious. But I feel a lot of people want to do it, but they don't really know how and what it takes. And because I am a creator, a content creator, I created a lot of really cool secrets of how I prepared, right, for that. And I
Okay.
will share them in that book, of course. But so I'm basically going to line up my whole timeline from the moment that I applied with my very first application
Okay.
to getting, the YouTube viewers past whatever 5,500 views in just a few weeks, right? So it's the runway to the red dot, but then you have to actually keep going past
Yeah,
the red
after it.
dot.
Yes.
So I will share it there. So there's a lot that goes into it. And for sure, I love that you ask about resilience. It is really a hard journey. And I wish now, Natalie, that I would have filmed some of the moments when I was crying. And that was not tears of joy. That was just tears of desperation because it is so hard. Like when I sometimes sat there and I was like, oh, I can't memorize it. Or like, you have to memorize the whole talk, right?
Yeah.
Or like when I was like, oh my gosh, like I ordered this extra outfit on eBay and it didn't get here. And then I was like, I was wearing all white on stage, and I thought I'm probably going to be that person that spells coffee. And then it didn't get here, and I got all stressed out, which hindsight is like totally ridiculous. You're watching this, you're like, no, but she looks perfect on stage.
Yes.
It could have been that somebody like spilled something on me, right? It's all these small little things. Well, in any case, so yeah, I'm definitely now glad that I documented everything on camera, but some of the resilience, that's why I'm writing the book, because of the resilience is such an important element in this.
And when will that book come out?
Yes.
Well, so that's a really good question. I was thinking probably in February, because that's really when I started actively applying. So it'll be a year after that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. To
Love
be
that.
continued. Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
continued, because I feel it's, as I say, I feel it's my obligation to write it.
Yes.
Somebody's got to write all this down.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I love
have
that.
a roadmap of somebody that's already gone through it successfully, that will change people's lives and maybe give them the courage to actually take a chance and do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly it. That's exactly it. I want to be the light
Yeah.
that keeps you going.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. Like sometimes in the moment of darkness, they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I hope you're going to pick up the book and read it. Yep.
You'll have a tool that will help you.
Mhm.
Yes,
hmm
exactly.
hmm Yep.
I love this. So, 3 books for sure that we know are on the horizon.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What else is in store
Good.
for you? What else do we have to expect?
Yeah. So right now, what I'm really lining up with is using the tools as workbooks with coaching.
Okay.
Because while I appreciate reading a good book, and my books are super interactive, they even have word searches in there
Mm.
and little areas where you can do like doodles and puzzles. And there's podcast episodes that you can listen to, that you can scan and listen to in the books. I also think, though, that I would like to connect with people in person. So I'm really getting into launching the books along with launching coaching offers.
Okay.
And of course, very fittingly, then the coaching is going to be called, Step into Your Voice. So really the book and what's called the STEP program will go hand in hand. So you could use the book and the coach. And at the end, maybe even have the TEDx talk lined up as your final outcome, or whatever you want to step into. I would help you with that.
Oh, that's incredible.
I think that's super powerful.
Yes.
It's something that doesn't exist, and I think that it would
Yeah.
be well received.
And Natalie, it's called
Yes.
Next Step.
Oh,
What's the next step?
What is the next step? I like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 What is the next step? Because I took so many petite steps. And so
Yes.
what's the next step? And so it's called Next Step. Yeah.
I love
Mhm.
Are you sharing this journey with your students? Because when we talk about innovative entrepreneurship, like this is it. You're
Yes.
living it.
Yeah. Actually, this is a funny story. So in the summer, I always teach high school students, and they come from all over the world. They come to campus,
Mm.
and they're living in this beautiful area of California where I'm at. And again, they're not they're not college students or anything. They don't even, most of the time, come from California, and they come here. And they came up with this idea. So I'm really living and breathing what I just told you, that I'm listening to what they say. So they said, I love coming here and listening to you, and you totally changed my life. And they write me all these cute little testimonials, and like, you're so spark and energy, and I'm just feeling like you gave me
Yeah.
ideas about the direction of my life.
Yes.
My parents would like this too. And then I thought, your
Mhm.
parents would like this? And then all of a sudden I thought, well, yeah, what about creating something for business owners,
Mm-hmm.
for people that actually need to take that next step.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in high school anymore. They don't go to college. But what is the next step? Sometimes you wonder, it's like, where is this all going?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it came about. I just listened to what they say, and that's how the program was born.
Yes. I love that. I love that. As a serial entrepreneur, I have failed many times my first attempt in learning. We failed our way into this podcast, right? We had no idea. Yes, first
Yep.
attempt in learning. I love that. The
Yep.
first attempt, the petite practice, small steps, big change.
Like,
Big believers. We didn't have the exposure to your work before, but I think Pam and I have lived it over the last decade, in terms of the things that we've worked to create and what we've brought forward, and coaching and training modules and the podcast and now the book,
yes.
plural books.
Yep.
So I love this idea of knowing, like, what is the next step, because not everyone is willing, as Pam and I are, to not know what the next step is, but just say, you know what, we'll figure it out. Let's just do it, and we'll figure it out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So now there is this guide,
Beautiful.
this blueprint, this roadmap that you've created.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's nearly like if you talk about books.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you read a really good book,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're done with it, and you have like this void in your life. You're like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to read next, because it was so good, right? You're like, oh. And there's actually even, I'm part of like a group that's called What to Read Next.
Oh.
And sometimes it's good to even line up what you read next
Mm-hmm.
before you're done with that book that you like so much, so that the void doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So when I practiced my TED talk, I was so in the preparation stage that one of my friends came over and she said, Christiana, just to let you know, on that 5-hour drive back home from Sacramento, you might feel that void. And I said, will I? She said, well, TEDx is your life right now. If you're done giving that talk, what are you going to do? I mean, you can't keep practicing. You're obviously done at that point. And I was like, good point. And so it was good that she brought this up, because then I started thinking about the book, The Runway to the Right Job. I thought,
Love
yeah,
it.
yeah. I don't want to fall into the void. So resilience also comes from being aware about those little dips that will happen when you are on that moment of the peak of the climax, that when it's done, like, what are you going to do? And resilience really happens and pre-planning and thinking about, like, all right, so maybe I know this will happen.
Mm-hmm.
August 16th is when I'm presenting. On August 17th, I need to have something lined up in my life.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yes.
Ready to go.
To fill it.
That's great. I love that. And that's great advice, because I think we all find ourselves in that, right? We have the big project, the big thing that we're working on,
Yep.
the big whatever, and then it happens and back to life is normal, I guess, but we don't know normal because we've spent so much time, invested so much time in preparing for that, whatever that big thing was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've done anything as big as the TEDx, but you know, I kudos.
No, but
congratulations.
Yeah.
That is great. I love that piece. Anything else that you would like to touch on and share with our listeners that we haven't touched on today?
Well, I think it's important for the listeners to understand that no matter where you are in your journey, the beauty of the petite practice is you have to figure out what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
So any good coach can give you advice, but you have to be figuring out what works for you and be in control of your own actions. And you also have to be, of course, ready to take the action, right? So that's step one. But I always feel that really to lead into your superpower, right? So using another acronym, like leading, meaning like you have to be a good listener right there. You have to also show empathy, figuring out who your target market is, who really can help. And then also be like really authentic and being the true you. And then lastly, really feeling, all right, so what's my direction here?
Love that.
And I think that's so important, because we sometimes feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to work with this coach, I'm going to create a company. But deep down, it's a lot about listening to others, to yourself, and figuring out really, like, where is it that my pain point is? What pain point do I want to solve in this world here, because there are so many problems that people go and they're not solved yet.
Mm-hmm.
One of those could be yours to solve. Go for it.
Yes. And you are solving many with your books that you already have and the ones to come.
Exactly. The next steps.
I love
love it.
And a coaching program to accompany.
Yeah. I've got some books to order.
Exactly. Yeah. I love this. Oh my gosh. This has been absolutely amazing. If folks want to get a hold of you, what's the best place for them to connect? Oh, and we'll make sure that we drop it in the show notes once you share as well.
Yeah, so connect with me on my website, drchristiana.com. Of course, check out my podcast, Happy, Healthy, Hustle. And then all my books are available on Amazon for, check them out there. And of course, grab one, connect with me. And I would always be happy to help you wherever you want to go in your life.
Love it. And do the free test to find out what your superpower is that's on your website, for sure.
Discovering your superpower, that will help you figure out how aligned you are with your true self.
Yes.
Okay. I'm curious.
Yes.
I believe them pretty aligned, but now I'm just going to take the assessment as soon as we hop off, just so I can do a double check.
Yes.
Yes.
It's actually fun. Sometimes I have people that are like, oh yeah, I took it and then I took it again, just to kind of like see how things changed. And I said, yeah, that's cool. Actually, that's what we do in life.
Yeah.
Sometimes feel like on some days we're a little bit more resilient than on others. And that's why it's so great to know how you can tap into yourself, because on those days when it's maybe a little tougher, you can really draw from the battery that you build over time, from that happiness and joy that you created with being aligned with who you are. It's like a battery. Everything works better when you unplug it every so often, even yourself.
Exactly. Just plug in and charge up every so often. Everyone needs to
every so often unplug.
Love it.
Well, we will make sure that we put all of your contact information and links to the books and everything in the show notes, so our listeners can explore and learn more about you and connect with you as well. It has been an absolute pleasure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the audience too.
Absolutely. All right. Well, and for our regular listeners, you all know, if you want to find out what's going on in the world of Reignite Resilience, head on over to reigniteresilience.com. And if you have not already subscribed to our Think Letter, that comes out every week, where we dive deeper into these episodes, giving you more insights, more takeaways, and our own ahas. And until next time, we'll see you all soon.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining us today on the Reignite Resilience podcast. We hope you had some aha moments and learned a few new real-life ideas to fuel the flames of passion. Please subscribe on your favorite streaming platform, like or download your favorite episodes, and of course, share with your friends and family. We look forward to seeing you again next time on Reignite Resilience.